Okay, so here we got this graph, and we want to put this in vertex form by looking at the graph. All right, so the first thing we can do is we can find the vertex. So I'm going to ask someone about where the vertex is. Chris, where's the vertex?
-3, 1.
Okay, you're correct, but you said it backwards. It's 1, -3.
My bad.
It's okay. I mean, you're not wrong. You know, I'm dyslexic. I switch things all the time. I don't even realize it. So I get it. So that's the vertex. Now, there's another point on this graph other than the vertex that we can tell. So we got 4 points. So what's the other point that we know on this graph? Izzy, what's the other point that we know on this graph?
0, -2.
Correct. That's the y-intercept. So we have 0, -2, and we also have the vertex. Now, the two x-intercepts, it's going to be kind of hard to see what they are. So, you know, that wouldn't be a good choice. They're probably highly irrational. Okay, so we're going to go ahead now, create our vertex form. The only thing we don't know is A. And so I'm going to use the 1 and the -3. Okay, so y equals A, x minus 1 squared, and then -3. So remember, the vertex shifted to the right 1 and then down 3. Another way of thinking about that. Now we got to find A. Now there's another way to find A I'll point out in a second. But at the worst case scenario, find another point on the graph, replace the x and y with that point, and solve for A. So that's what we're going to do here. Replace the x and y with 0 and -2, and solve for A. Okay, so this is going to become -1 squared, which is 1. Then we add 3 to both sides. So A is 1. And so now we can create our vertex form. Y equals 1 times. Now you don't really have to do the 1 times. That's really not necessary. I'm just being deliberate. Right? It's understood even if you don't put that 1 there. Okay, anybody got any questions about that? Notice from the vertex, when we shift to the left by 1, that would go up 1. So this distance from the center 1, if we shift to the left 1, that becomes 1 squared. And if we went up 1, that means we would have multiplied by 1. So if we shifted to the left 1 and we went up 2, that means we would have had to go 2 times 1 squared. Same thing, if we shifted to the left 1 and we went up 3, that means we would have had to go 3 times 1 squared. So if you can do that, that's probably easier. But again, not all the time are we going to be able to have that as an option.